Alright, what is up, everybody? This is the SummerSlam rundown for everybody for those DVD collections out there. I know there's people still out there going strong in their DVD collections, even though the WWE Network is spreading out there. It's spreading worldwide, and you can get your hands on those from anywhere from the on-demand, but it's always fun to have a whole bunch of DVDs sitting on your shelf up there that you can pop in anytime. It's always going strong. This one is a must-have for any DVD collectors. This is the complete anthology of the SummerSlam set. This is the first 20 SummerSlams ever. Runs all the way from 1988 to 2007. Very cool cooler box. Pop it open. You got 4 of the anthologies sitting there on ice. Very cool. I have an inside look at the box of a SummerSlam set down there in the description box below. Just did that maybe a month, maybe 2 months ago. Check that out. From there we run down to the first WWE DVD of SummerSlam. This would be SummerSlam 1999. This would be the end of the Stone Cold Steve Austin era. They almost start the McMahon Helmsley era. Triple H going after his first chance at the WWF Championship. I don't think that's honestly true. I remember they did that 3-way where it was Undertaker, Triple H against Stone Cold Steve Austin. That might have been one of his first shots, but this is definitely one of the shots when he was a heavy favorite to win the title, even though Mankind walked away with it. This is a very good pay-per-view. Test versus Shane McMahon, lover her, leaver. You got Big Boss Man versus Al Snow. And you got Ken Shamrock versus Steve Blockman in a Lion's Den match. Good stuff. Plus Tag Team Turmoil. See all the teams of the Attitude Era run strong. From there, we'll go to SummerSlam 2000. Turn that a little bit of the angle so you guys don't get the glare on there. Boom. This one's an awesome match. One of the best matches on here. 2 out of 3 falls. Jericho versus Benoit. If you're able to still watch Benoit, it's a very good match to check out. You got a TLC, Edge and Christian versus Dudley Boys versus the Hardy Boys. And, of course, Rock, Triple H, and Kurt Angle going after the WWF Championship in a triple threat. All of the McMahon-Helmsley sort of soap opera angle built up in that one. SummerSlam 2001, this is the Invasion angle. Booker T versus The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Kurt Angle. Just watched that match the other night. Very good match. Very surprised by how good that was. Very surprised that I didn't remember how good that was. How about that? You got Jeff Hardy versus Rob Van Dam in a hardcore ladder match. X-Pac versus Tajiri. Lance Storm versus Edge. Then from there we go to SummerSlam 2002. Rock versus Brock. You got Shawn Michaels versus Test in a non-sanctioned brawl. The return of Shawn Michaels after years and years of being out of the WWF. Benoit versus Rob Van Dam. Edge versus Eddie Guerrero. Ric Flair versus Jericho. Rey Mysterio versus Kurt Angle in a very good match. Then we go to SummerSlam. They're all SummerSlams, dumbass. This would be 2003. This one was settled with an Elimination Chamber. This was Triple H, Orton, Jericho, Goldberg, Shawn Michaels, and Kevin Nash. Also get Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar. That's a good match every time those guys match up. Rob Van Dam versus Kane. Shane McMahon versus Eric Bischoff. I don't remember that to save my life. I did want to watch this, though, before SummerSlam. I watched 94 last night. Maybe I should have watched this one. Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, Rhino, and Tajiri for the United States Championship. Fatal 4-way. From there, we'll roll into SummerSlam 2004. Benoit versus Orton. Orton becoming the youngest WWE champion of all time. You got JBL versus Undertaker. Eddie versus Angle. Triple H versus Eugene. I think this has the Divas. Yep, Divas Dodgeball. There you go. Can't go wrong with that one. And then we'll go to SummerSlam 2005, highlighted by Shawn Michaels versus Hulk Hogan. This also has Matt Hardy versus Edge in an all-out brawl for Lita. Then we have Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero in the ladder match for the custody of Dominic. Cena versus Jericho. I believe that's when the fans ultimately first started to turn on John Cena. That's when it all started to go downhill. Eugene versus Kurt Angle. Then we'll go to 2006. So we got Edge versus Cena in the main event. Booker versus Batista. Big Show versus Sabu. DX versus the McMahons. Hogan versus Orton. 2007. This is the Night of Returns. You have Triple H versus King Booker. Rey Mysterio versus Chavo Guerrero. Cena versus Orton. Khali versus Batista. Morrison versus Punk. Divas Battle Royal. I don't remember that at all. Then we go to 2008. This one's going to have... this one's works from the bottom to top. Cena versus Batista. I believe this is when Shawn Michaels tries to retire. and then gets bought out by JBL. Jeff Hardy versus MVP. Hell in the Cell, Undertaker versus Edge. Triple H versus Great Khali. CM Punk versus JBL. Mark Henry versus Matt Hardy. And, the winner-take-all tag match with Santino and Beth Phoenix. Then we go to the Los Angeles era. It's the SummerSlam 2009. This has TLC, Jeff Hardy versus CM Punk. We got Randy Orton versus John Cena. Christian versus William Regal. DX versus Legacy. Rey Mysterio versus Dolph. That match really did surprise me. The year of the Nexus, SummerSlam 2010. This is the first Blu-ray that had a SummerSlam on it. That's going to have the big, was that 7 guys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, 7 on 7. We'll have Orton versus Sheamus. We've got Ray versus Kane with the return of Undertaker. Then we'll go to SummerSlam 2011. Sort of a crime that this wasn't put on Blu-ray. This is a really good SummerSlam. I think that I ranked this number 2 SummerSlam of all time. You got CM Punk versus John Cena with Triple H as your special guest referee. You got Christian versus Orton. You got a 6-man. You got a cash-in by Alberto Del Rio. You got a run-in by Kevin Nash. Daniel Bryan versus Wade Barrett was a really good match. Sheamus versus Mark Henry was surprisingly a very good match. Then we'll go to SummerSlam 2012. You got Triple H against Brock Lesnar. You got Sheamus versus Del Rio. You got the 3-way of CM Punk, John Cena, and Big Show going at it. And then we'll go to SummerSlam 2013. The big build-up of John Cena versus Daniel Bryan, with Daniel Bryan winning the WWF Championship, and then the heartbreak of losing it with Randy Orton and Triple H cashing in on him. One more match for Christian versus Del Rio. We got the match with the Ring of Fire with Kane versus the Wyatts. And good stuff here. You can't go wrong. I believe that's every SummerSlam that's ever been made on DVD. You got to get these. Definitely got to have the anthology set. Of course, if you have a WWE Network, you can have them all already, but then you wouldn't have anything sitting on your bookshelves. And you'd have empty bookshelves in your room, and who's going to want that?